The White House has warned that fire and drought fueled by climate change could cause a massive hit of $2 trillion a year recently at the Economic Forum. Klaus Schwab introduced a series of new climate policies to improve the red alert status of the climate. However, this can put GM into bankruptcy. So what is the new policy of WEF and why can GM go bankrupt? Before we start the video, support and subscribe to our channel and ring the bell icon so you don't miss any of our interesting videos in the future. General Motors wants to end production of all diesel and gasoline powered cars, trucks and SUVs by 2035 and shift its entire new fleet to electric vehicles as part of a broader plan to become carbon neutral by 2040. According to Barra, however, this plan of Barra puts GM in danger of bankruptcy. At the annual meeting of the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab introduced new policies that change the entire American transition plan. At the same time, Schwab also ruined GM's plan of converting to electric vehicles. Inaction on climate change will cost the global economy $178 trillion over the next 50 years, enough loss for a 7.6% cut to the global GDP in 2070 alone. In the WEF meeting in Davos, the world's productive capital would be channeled through repairing climate damage. Instead of investing in new value-adding innovations and infrastructure. At a WEF climate conference, government set the voluntary goal to keep the global temperature from rising at least 2 degrees Celsius compared to before the Industrial Revolution, and ideally no more than 1.5 degrees. At the same time, countries are forced to speed up the transition to using electric vehicles by 2050. This means Joe Biden has new plans for the transition to using electric vehicles. The US government plans to end purchases of gas-powered vehicles by 2030. In a move to lower emissions and promote electric cars under an executive order signed by President Joe Biden announced he would aggressively move the U.S. further away from its reliance on change-causing fossil fuels while retaining and creating jobs and spurring economic growth. The President of the United States is considering a policy to ban gasoline trucks by 2025. Joe Biden would phase out gasoline-powered cars and drastically reduce demand for fossil fuel in the U.S.'s fight against climate change. The executive order directs the states to require that by 2025 all new cars and trucks sold in the U.S. are zero-emission vehicles. Biden's sudden change of plans made it impossible for GM to catch up. Barra expressed that GM could lose sales of 1 million gas cars a year and that could cause 2 of GM's plants to close. CEO Barra revealed that GM's truck and pickup sales account for 2/3. Joe Biden's new executive order dealt a fatal blow to GM. Even CEO Barra criticized Klaus Schwab and the Economic Forum. We all understand that a change in the U.S. plan could cost GM hundreds of billions of dollars. Not only in the U.S. market, GM also has problems in the world's most populous market. China also plans to ban gasoline trucks by 2024. We could see a series of GM trucks appearing in landfills or warehouses. In terms of electric vehicles, for now GM can still solve the battery problem. GM has confirmed fires in at least 12 vehicles. Automaker asked owners last month to change vehicle settings to reduce fire risk as part of a recall. One of the most recent fires reportedly occurred last week involving a 2017 Bolt EV that was parked in Sacramento, California. GM last month expanded an initial recall of select model years to all Bolt EVs, including a recent released larger version of the car known as the Bolt EV. At the same time, GM couldn't solve its manufacturing problem. The additional downtime at Orion Assembly was included as part of the production update by GM regarding the ongoing shortage of semiconductor chips. The parts shortage has caused automakers to cut vehicle production globally. Sporadically, as part of the update, GM confirmed production of its full-size pickups returning to regular following a week of downtime. It also extended previously announced downtimes at plants in Michigan, Missouri and Mexico, while confirming plans to restart production at other facilities later this month. GM expects the parts problem to cut its North American vehicle production by about 100,000 vehicles during the year's second half compared with the first 6 months. Recall news. Certain examples of the 2022 Chevy Colorado and the 2022 GMC Canyon mid-sized pickups have been recalled for an issue related to improperly welded seat frames. In addition, CEO Mary Barra is still working hard to chase Tesla and new U.S. orders. General Motors continues to drive towards the mass adoption of all-electric vehicles. Barra announcing a massive $7 billion investment for its Michigan-based production facilities, including $4 billion to convert the Orion Township plant to produce the new Chevy Silverado EV and Sierra EV, and $2.5 billion for a third Ultium sales battery plant, and a further $500 million to support the next generation Chevy Traverse and Buick Enclave production. The investment is the most significant single investment in GM history, prompting responses from the White House. Among other groups, GM is now shooting for EV production capacity greater than 1 million units. GM has announced a fourth Ultium sales battery plant and third EV truck plant. It also stated it's holding 2,500 reservations for the BrightDrop F600 and F410 all-electric commercial van, along with 140,000 Chevy Silverado EV reservations and 70,000 GMC Hummer EV reservations. Additionally, GM has teased the new Chevy Corvette E-Ray hybrid, adding that a fully electric model will follow back in November of 2021. The automaker hosted the grand opening of its new GM Factory Zero production facility in Michigan, GM's first dedicated all-electric vehicle assembly plant. GM CEO Mary Barra rang the New York Stock Exchange opening bell from the factory floor the morning of the plant's opening, and President Biden visited for a tour. Driving the new Hummer, GM stock value rose to $65 per share following the opening. During the previous GM Investor Day event, GM announced several plans regarding its business strategy and products. It expects to double its revenue by 2030 through new software platforms and connectivity, and the integration of OnStar Insurance with the vehicle purchase process. More recently, GM announced it would add 50 new in-vehicle digital services by 2026, creating a wealth of new potential revenue streams. Well, that's the end of today's episode, and we want to take time to thank you for your support of Tesla fans. Don't hesitate to comment below the video if you have any thoughts about the episode, and if you find these videos interesting, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share our video. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.